Guys, are we ready for the third comedian of the night? You guys can do better. Are we ready for the third comedian of the night? Please give a big round of applause to Luca.
Yeah, Mustafa loves to play the thick person. I'm never getting a spot here again. I'm Luke, I'm from Canada. I like to open with that. It's not that I'm proud or anything, it's just that when the Europeans hear the accent, I want them to know that I'm unarmed. You know, for now. No, it also means for any Americans in the audience that these jokes cost 25% more than they normally would. I know everyone can make that joke now, but we were first. Because we have a special relationship with the United States, right? So first Trump threatened us with 25% tariffs, and then 50% tariffs, then finally 100% tariffs. And I thought to myself, dear God, he's learning higher numbers. I guess you guys heard the Trump about news. The news about Trump last week. Well, that's not very specific. I'll just explain it. Basically, I think one of the Epstein emails was released, and it heavily implies that Donald Trump performed oral sex on Bill Clinton, and that Putin has the photos. And suddenly the world makes a lot more sense. Nah, but that guy, Trump, man, sounds like he really blew it. Yeah, no, I think it's always been pretty obvious that Putin said something pretty big on Trump, right? But didn't realize it was as big as Bill Clinton's dick. All right. I think my favorite Trump quote was that annexing Canada and Greenland is a no-brainer. Because, well, he's the expert on that subject. But, you know, to prepare for that inevitability, last time I was home, I went to go buy a gun, you know, in case our last line of defense fails and they figure out where we are. So I went to this gun store, and I went to go see the guy at the counter, and I said, I'd like to buy a rifle, please. He said, what are you hunting? And I said, Americans. He said, sorry, bud, we don't sell bullets that big. So I bought an elephant gun. And I'll just have to double tap. But yeah, I'm from Canada. I'm from the province of British Columbia, which, as the name suggests, yes, we have both bad teeth and cocaine. That guy's getting more laughs than me. But we just call that meth. I was born in the city of Vancouver, British Columbia. For those of you unfamiliar with Vancouver, it is internationally known as the most Asian city outside of Asia. And because of its large Chinese population, some people have nicknamed it Hongcouver, which sadly isn't a joke. But you shouldn't do that, because even I find that offensive, because, you know, I was born there, so I actually associate very heavily with the Chinese culture. So much so that I actually identify as Chinese. My pronouns are she, Jinping. One thing I miss about home is I swear I used to be taller. Like at my last company back home, I was the second tallest person in the room. And at my job here, I'm not even in the top 10. Which is concerning, because there's only 8 of us. Now, normally it doesn't affect me much, but like recently I was on a date at a bar, and well, because I'm a feminist, she was at the counter buying our drinks. When out of nowhere, this Dutch guy started hitting on her, and he was not taking the hint that she wasn't interested. So I had to do something. So I stood up, marched over to him, puffed out my chest, stood as tall as I could, looked him square in the balls, and politely asked if he wouldn't mind moving on. Sir. But as it turned out, it was a huge misunderstanding, and he was actually flirting with a woman on the next floor. A bit about me. When I was growing up, my parents sent me to a Christian school, which meant that I didn't lose my virginity until university. It's not that I couldn't have, it's just that, well, with the Christians in North America, sex before marriage is anal. And it didn't really appeal to me, you know? Like, some of those teachers were hung. And it didn't help, they kept asking me to turn the other cheek. But yeah, I remember after a few years and some role reversal, I asked my first girlfriend how she'd feel about, you know, trying it in the butt. And she responded with, how would you feel about trying it in the butt? I said, bit of a stretch. But in the end, she made me an offer. She said that if I got to do it to her, then she'd get to do it to me. I'd never felt so torn. Yeah, that was terrible. I love that. You guys look like you have jobs. What's your job?
I don't have a job.
And you can still afford tickets? Okay, what's your job?
I don't as well.
Okay, I'll just continue with the joke as if. So the reason I ask is because. No, I'm not moving this way. The odds aren't in my favor. Oh, they want to take. Okay, do you have a job?
Yes.
Thank fuck. What is your job?
I work at BMW.
Okay. Do you like your job?
Yes, I like it very much.
Is it what you wanted to be when you were a kid?
No. But I like it.
Okay. I asked because I have a niece, she's 2.5, and she told me that when she grows up, that she wants to be a duck. Now, if you had to pick, duck? Yeah, duck, right? I didn't even know that was an option. But I'm afraid it's a tough career choice, because, like, they're delicious. So to prepare her, last time I saw her, I chased her around the house saying, I'm gonna eat you. And next week we're going to a poultry farm. I don't have a niece. No, that was my best friend's kid. I don't know, do you guys have this? My friends with kids love sending me photos of their kids. This happen to you guys? Yeah? Yeah, and so I get all the photos. For fall, I got them playing with leaves. For October, I got them in a pumpkin patch on like a tractor. And soon I'll be getting all the Christmas photos. And it doesn't matter what they send me or who sends it to me, I always respond with the same thing. Unsubscribe. It has not worked. Yeah, I've got a job. I originally moved here for work. I've got a pretty cool job. I work with robots. Only, well, they don't like it when I call them that. They prefer to be called software developers. I can say that. I'm an engineer, a better one. But yeah, I like my job. It's got some downsides though. Like recently I had some really early mornings. Any morning people in tonight? Shouldn't you be in bed? But yeah, no, after the third 6 a.m. in a row, I wished I was dead. But that's when all my morning people friends jumped into action with all the most helpful advice you've ever heard. Like, have you tried going to bed sooner? Never would have thought of that. Or my favorite, no artificial light after 8 p.m. I like to read. Yeah, well, I like to look at pictures of women's feet. I know. There's not a lot of books on that. That I haven't already read. Oh, you look familiar. You don't also happen to be unemployed. Oh, okay, you don't need any cash then. We'll talk later. Actually, I've been looking at resumes. Some resumes have come across my desk lately, and it's very surprising how little effort people put into their resumes, you know? Like, mine are perfect, because I look at resumes like dating profiles, you know? It's basically the same. I wanna doll myself up, make myself look as pretty as possible, so I get to pick only from the best. Which one gets to fuck me? Sorry, too real. No, but one applicant, they listed their hobbies, and among other things, they listed as a singular word, puppies. No verb, just puppies. Like training, petting, eating? I need a verb here, man. Like, would you guys hire someone if there's a 1 in 3 chance that they eat puppies? Yeah, I don't like those odds. Since I moved to Germany, I've of course been trying to learn German. And what they say is the key to learning any language is through immersion. But I've immersed myself in like 6 Germans now. And I don't understand a thing. But my French has improved. I was actually told recently that while French in English means French kiss, French in German means blowjob. So I've just only now realized that I've been winking at the wrong half of the audience. No, yeah, so as you can tell, I speak American English, or simplified English. And now I've got this coworker who speaks British English, or proper English. So we constantly kind of butt heads over which words to use for things. So like, if we're referring to mathematics, I will say math, and he says maths. I don't know where the F's come from. Or if we're talking about sports, I will say soccer, and he says football. Or when we refer to the toilet, I will say stall, and he says cubicle. And, well, he convinced me on that last one, but I don't think he's gonna like what I left on his desk. Yeah, shit joke, right? I noticed there's been some fun side effects to English language dominance in the world. Like, there's some languages that take English words and just force them directly into the language, like German. My favorite example of this is downgeloadet. Terrible. But there are some languages that take words and then translate them and use them completely out of context. So like I was traveling, I was in Rome near the Vatican, and I saw this man taking a photo of his young son. And in English, when you get your photo taken, you say cheese, because it makes you smile. Cheese. But this kid said formaggio. Do Italian kids smile like this? Just the ones in the Vatican? None of you are seeing heaven. All right, you guys have been great. That's for my time. Please welcome Matt Mustafa.